I'm here today visiting Tip and Pill, some of my favorite NPCs in this game. Their voice is incredible. Whoever has done the voice acting for Courier's Tip and Pill, you are a phenomenal talent in your ability to make squeaky, nasally noises, and I will never get tired of you. But I am not just here to visit these two bugs. I am here today because I have seen many videos across YouTube showing what people are able to do with the Courier's Rasher. Most of them pretty cool ideas. They show people's speed skill and just ability to traverse the map without getting hit. But you know, at some point I feel like we've kind of lost the plot. These are way too complicated. I figured, why don't we just go back to the basics with something simple, like beating Pharloom's god while holding a rasher of meat on me. And to begin with, I did not think this was possible. I was just going to try and beat her with the liquid lacquer, but after enough attempts, I was able to confirm that you can beat the entirety of Hollow Knight Silksong while carrying a quickly decaying rasher of meat. And it is not simple. I will show you my full run to show you how not simple it is. But if you work at it, you too can go beat all of Hollow Knight Silksong while carrying a rasher of meat. And guaranteed, you do not have the ability to get hit while doing this. You've got to be fast, you've got to be on top of things, and you've got to make sure that you are locked in and are never taking damage if you want to do this challenge yourself. And if any of you appreciate the struggle and time it took to make this run possible, please like this video and subscribe to my channel if you're interested in seeing more crazy runs and interesting facts for Hollow Knight Silksong. And quick spoiler alert, this run you're seeing right now, the one that came right after recording the introduction to this video, it did not go so well. Let's just say that this is not the run. It wasn't a terrible run. It made it all the way to this room before it immediately got destroyed by taking one bit of damage from the Grand Reed here. So this is what I mean when I say you can't take damage and bring the Rasher to the end of the game. That's why I have the Barb Bracelet though, because damage doesn't matter. Many attempts after that first one, I was able to do this entire run successfully. And I am going to give you some post commentary to give you a good idea of how this run is possible. And to begin with, the equipment I have is very necessary for this challenge being done. Obviously, I have the Silk Speed anklets on, because just the amount of speed they give is very required to do a challenge like this. The Barb Bracelet is also a necessity, because we want to eke out every bit of damage we can get against Grandmother Silk. If you don't kill GMS fast enough, then it doesn't matter how quickly you get to her. The Rasher will break with all of her cutscenes and times when you can't attack her, so you have to make the most of all the time you do have. Also, I attack the enemies here because, at least partially, I have the Barb Bracelet, so I can kill them quickly. Because this is a Courier's Rasher run, I don't have the benefit of my needle at its 3rd upgrade level. Obviously, I can't do this run if I've completed the quest for Mergwyn, so I can't get his pale oil. As I've been talking over this, you're probably seeing a pretty familiar route if you've done this challenge yourself. Most of this route is going to be the exact same as it would be in a standard playthrough when you're just trying to bring this Rasher to Mergwyn. It is everything after we get to him that is entirely unique to this kind of challenge, because we need to get past the portion of the Citadel that leads to Grandmother Silk, which normally no one would ever go through when they're doing this type of challenge. Now, there's a lot of little things you can do. There's a lot of optimization with certain jumps, certain platforming. A lot of optimizations that I fail at. As you can see, I just missed the jump there. So, if you're wondering, it is entirely possible to do this run while making a few mistakes along the way. It is not so tight that you have to be immaculately perfect in every platforming decision you make, but you can't make that many mistakes and still have this run work. I have failed far too many runs to just a few missed jumps and sloppy damage. And by sloppy damage, I mean any damage. Because like I said before, it is really true that if you get hit at all, especially when wearing the Bard Bracelet, this run is over. In case you didn't know, all of your deliverables break depending on how much damage you take. So if you take 2 massive damage, you will take double the damage to your deliverable item as if you just took 1. And because we need the Bard Bracelet to give us the damage to beat Grandmother Silk, every hit is going to be at least 2 massive damage, and that'll just break the Rasher instantly, especially near the end of this whole run, which is why you have to be very careful to avoid all of these enemies that exist. And one of the better techniques to do for this run, in case you didn't know it, is you can use the Silk Speed Anklets without wasting Silk by just jumping in between running every so often. That will instantly deactivate the Silk cost before it goes through, and you can just start running again without losing any Silk. Silk economy is also important because you need to use Claw Line in a lot of cases to avoid enemies, and obviously you want to have Silk on you always so you can run as fast as possible. But as you can see, when you do this run, not optimally but very well, you can get all the way to the elevator leading to Lace 2 with almost half of your Rasher left. And at this point, you start to feel the pain of these unskippable cutscenes, like this elevator, because you just get to see your Rasher slowly dying as Hornet takes her sweet time to ascend up to the end of the game. How you doing, Lace? You still dead? No? I know you're not actually dead, but it is very funny that we can just run past you carrying a bushel of meat. I wonder if Lace is awake and just pretending to be asleep. She is such a faker for giving us that whole death lag and then immediately coming back to beat up her mom when we get her in a damaged state. Ugh, Lace. But yeah, most of this platforming you see is not really what I'm commenting on specifically. It's what worked. So if you want to do this run, I'd recommend you following what I did, and I have it all down on video, so you can watch me go through it and see if you can do exactly what I did, with less mistakes, hopefully. And because I am a seasoned veteran of beating Grandmother Silk up, this is the part of the run that I did the best at, and it's the part of the run that other people may need to practice more, because you gotta beat her fast. I got basically 2 pips of my meat left, and getting these staggers and getting this damage in time to avoid getting hit by her is ideal for something like this. Because even if you do it as quickly as possible, you have this kind of downtime where you can't do anything, and you get to slowly and agonizingly watch all of your Rasher go down. That's why you've got to optimize all the time you have. Make sure you don't get hit, deal damage every possible circumstance. If you are in a situation where you might get hit by those spikes on the ground, just use a Silk skill, use something to hit her from range. Silk Spear is great for this, I recommend you equipping it. Otherwise, avoid taking damage at all costs. Going quickly is important, but not taking damage is even more so. Once you get enough damage in though, especially with the Bard Bracelet on, you'll find that she goes down far faster than you may imagine. And as you can see, the Rasher is programmed to break when you kill her, which is just frustrating to me. However, I don't agree with this decision. I came here with a Rasher that had at least a bar of durability left, and that is why I am saying that I did beat the game with the Courier's Rasher. And it's not just me saying it, dear viewer. You will see yourself that the cutscene is massively different when you come and deliver a portion of meat to Grandmother Silk. It changes the entire outcome of Pharloom Forever coming here with the Courier's Rasher. You should see exactly what it does. Yes, we no longer have just an infestation of silk. Now we have a Pharloom-wide infestation of meat. Thank you for watching, as I am the first person to achieve the true ending of Hollow Knight Silksong. Have a good day, everyone.